Hayes is transcendent. It's a place where you know what you're going to get, you know what you're coming in for, you know that the results are going to be amazing.
And we are live in the Bronx, New York, here at Cardinal Hayes Memorial High School for a showdown in the New York Catholic League between Cardinal Hayes and Nazareth Regional High School. The stars are out. The rims are being broken in for the start of a new season here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Hello, everyone. So glad you could join us. Alongside Andrew Deloya, I'm Lance Meadow, as we gear up for what should be an intriguing matchup, Andrew. And this is going to be the first go-around for Cardinal Hayes. They have yet to play a game. Meanwhile, Nazareth already played 2 games in Oklahoma, 1 in Pennsylvania. So they're all of a sudden a little bit more in rhythm compared to what the Cardinals are up against.
Absolutely. For Nazareth, they've been battle-tested a little bit here in the preseason. And for Cardinal Hayes, you know, Coach is trying to see what they are going to bring to the table for their first game.
And that's why this adds a layer of intrigue, because we have yet to see Cardinal Hayes this season in action. And let's run you through the impact players, who to keep close tabs on over the course of this contest. We're going to start with the road team, the Nazareth Kingsmen, and it starts with Malik Kamara, their sophomore forward, who is a transfer from James Monroe. He's a Swiss Army knife, does a little bit of everything. And then their senior point guard, A.J. Moody, who is going to be the guy orchestrating their offense last season, averaging nearly 11 points a game. For Cardinal Hayes, who went 19-9 a year ago, 8-8 in league play, there's a little bit more continuity on this roster. So that should help Joe Lodes' crew as we look at their impact players. And for them, it's about Malik Fields, their senior forward, who is a battle-tested veteran presence for them. They believe he's going to be first-team all-league this year as he's taking his talents to Quinnipiac. And Christian Brown is, according to Joe Lodes, one of the best shooters he's ever coached, who they expect big things from. Only averaged 4 points last season, but they believe with the shot attempts he puts up this year, he could see his numbers skyrocket. And we had an opportunity to chat with both Gary Irvin, the head coach of Nazareth, as well as Joe Lodes for Cardinal Hayes. They both ran us through the keys to today's game. So, Andrew, why don't you run us through that?
Yeah, from the Nazareth side of the ball, they want to take care of the basketball, obviously limit their turnovers. And then they need their guards to get back in transition, because Cardinal Hayes likes to get it and go. And then obviously the toughness plays, the rebounding, the taking charges, try to create momentum on the road. On the flip side for Cardinal Hayes, and speaking with Coach Lodes, you can tell he loves the transition game. He spoke to us about high-octane offense and getting it going for 32 minutes. He obviously wants them to shoot well. If Christian Brown can get hot, that would be a plus. And make Nazareth shoot some tough contested twos so that they can rebound and run.
Yeah, Joe Load sounds like he wants to run the Mike D'Antoni offense, 3 seconds or less. If they put up a pump fake, it may be problematic for his squad. We are nearing tip-off between Cardinal Hayes and Nazareth here in the Bronx, New York, on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
My second base language is Spanish. La cultura es todo. La cultura de Cardinal Hayes define el éxito. What I just said right now is that when you think about a Hayesman, you think of excellence. Excellence is culture, and that's what we're about.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again, off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another three. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off X 3 in a row now.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Back here at Cardinal Hayes Memorial High School in the Bronx, New York, as we inch closer to the opening tip-off between Cardinal Hayes and Nazareth, the season opener for both of these teams. Let's run you through the starting lineups. First for the Nazareth Kingsmen, and this is a group that already has played 3 games out of state, 2 in Oklahoma City, 1 in Pennsylvania. A.J. Moody and Jaden Blakemore make up the backcourt, so there's senior leadership there. And then they have a senior, a junior, and a sophomore in that front court, and it is Malik Kamara who is going to be a huge difference maker over the course of this season in just his second year as he comes over from James Monroe in the Bronx. Delgado, a top 15 player in the league last year. And then you look at what Romero brings to the table. He's a transfer from Queens Construction, and he's somebody that can stretch the floor with his mid-range and three-point shooting. As we see the player introductions underway and the Cardinal Hayes faithful letting Nazareth hear it. So let's look at the starting 5 for the Cardinals. But first for Nazareth, Gary Irvin in his 6th season, a product of Robeson. And then he went off to play college basketball at some high caliber programs, including Mississippi State and Arkansas, before having a lengthy career overseas as well as in the D-League, 8 years. So here is the starting 5 for Cardinal Hayes, and it is a backcourt composed of Hector Almodovar. He'll be joined by Bryce Yancey, as well as Malik Fields and Christian Brown. They play 4 guards, so there's a small lineup. And then Amadou Barry is the man in the front court who's got a wealth of talent at 6'9", and he averaged 8 points per game last season. But when the light goes off for him, they feel that he can take a step in the next direction. And the head coach of the Cardinals is Joe Lodes in his 17th season, 3-time Coach of the Year, a product of St. Francis Prep. He's got over 330 victories in his career, and he replaced the legendary Tom Murray, who was steering the ship for 40 years and had nearly 590 victories.
Yeah, you talked about 2 coaches who've accumulated over 800 wins and have kept 60 years of continuity for the program. It's pretty amazing. You don't see that in this day and age.
So we are inching closer here to tip off. The officials will be Craig Bell, Mike Locascio, and Damian Shaw. Nazareth 1-2 on the season. They beat Archbishop Carroll Catholic School in Pennsylvania 77-62 to end November. They lost at Allen High School and Douglas High School in Oklahoma. First game was close, 78-74. The middle game was what Gary Irvin said was the most disappointing performance, as they dropped that one 56-40. It's going to be Barry and Delgado at center court for the opening tip, as Barry's got 4 inches on Delgado. And it will be in possession of Cardinal Hayes, the home team, with Yancey, the sophomore guard, handling and orchestrating duties as they go into the corner. And without any hesitation, Malik Fields drops in a trifecta for the early lead.
Somewhere Tom Bakura is very happy to see that.
As he'll be taking his talents to Quinnipiac. I'm not sure if they have to make an adjustment to the clock here, as one of the officials walking over to the scorer's table. Remember, just as we're in the early stages of the season for the players, also the scorer's table, right? Trying to work out the kinks in the early goings.
The good news for the scorer's table in this game is they might not even need to use the shot clock at all.
Well, we talked about Joe Lodes he said he advises his team not to put up a pump fake. If they're putting up a pump fake, that's bad news. He wants them to let it rip and let it fly, and that's exactly what Malik Fields did, who father Courtney Fields actually played for Jeff Ruland at Iona. So some genes in that family.
Absolutely, and Jeff Ruland was one of Long Island's finest as a player, and then had a nice coaching career.
Jumper by Blakemore couldn't fall through, so they'll reset here with Moody, their point guard. And good hands there by Fields, who's going to look to take it the opposite way before Delgado knocks it out of play. A heads-up hustle play by Justin to prevent what could have been a transition layup.
It was nice. He didn't give up on the play after making a mistake, and hustle play causing Hayes to take the ball baseline out of bounds.
Now Motivar will inbound. Playing with a lot of confidence entering this season. He tried to get it inside to Barry, and it's going to be a turnover as Barry was caught very much underneath the basket.
Yeah, it looked like that bounce pass hit the baseline because Barry didn't establish great position on the baseline play.
So Nazareth trying to take advantage of the turnover as Delgado draws a triple team, and they go inside, and that bank shot is up and in for Jaden Blakemore with his first bucket.
You know, it's going to be an interesting matchup to watch, Delgado and Barry. I think Naz is going to test Barry's ability to guard away from the basket.
Fields is there to clean it up, and he has accounted for all 5 of Cardinal Hayes' points.
You could tell just by the way Fields moves that he's a heady, smart player.
They misfire from beyond the arc with Romero. Back the other way is Yancey, as each team exchanging threes, and stellar defense there by Blakemore to prevent a shot in the paint as Fields is off the mark from straight away. So plenty of opportunities on that possession for Cardinal Hayes as they crash the offensive glass, and they watch as
Delgado
got slippery on the interior.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. Delgado's got a quick first step, and Barry's going to really have to work to guard him man-to-man. He's also going to need some help from his teammates defensively.
Gary Irvin believes Delgado could be a all-team first player and player of the year candidate as Fields glides to the bucket, and he now has all 7 of the Cardinals' points.
What I'm impressed with Delgado early is his ability to handle the basketball in the full court.
So here's Nazareth looking to attack. It goes off the fingertips of Romero. And something they can't afford right now is for these turnovers to pile up, because the last thing you want to see, Andrew, is Cardinal Hayes picking up steam on their offensive end.
It was one of the points of emphasis from Coach Irvin. He wanted them to limit their turnovers so Hayes couldn't establish a high pace of the game.
Christian Brown, their sharpshooter, leaves it for Motivar. Fields a difficult shot. He wanted contact. Good block there by Romero. And now they can turn defense into offense with Moody leading the pack. But he has his pocket picked. They go up ahead to Fields through 2 defenders, and Malik Fields has all 9 of Cardinal Hayes' points.
When he gets going in the open court, it's going to be tough to stop.
He scored 34 points in their last game last season against St. Francis Prep, so he's picking up exactly where he left off. He thought about a jumper, and off the pump fake, Barry can't finish at the rim. And Fields was walking that tightrope, and they're going to get a personal foul here against Nazareth. So it's going to go against Blakemore, and that'll be his first.
One of the things I look at early in the year is how well teams execute their baseline out of bounds plays and some of their special sets, because it is so early in the season, and this is a good indicator of how much they practice.
And remember, we saw a turnover not too long ago where Barry was caught right near the baseline. So we'll see what Motivar has up his sleeve this time. Malik Fields is at the hot hand. 9 points. He leaves it out to Brown from way downtown. Romero there to clean it up. As Moody trying to get away from the pesky Yancey.
Yancey's not afraid to get on the floor, and that's one of the things Coach Lodes loves about him is his willingness to do some of the dirty work.
And they're going to say that we have a step out of play on the baseline So that is going to lead to another turnover. That was Malik Kamara.
I think at this point in the game, a win for Nazareth would just be to get a shot up offensively. And no, seriously, it's just they really need to settle in on offense and get everyone a touch and get a shot out at the rim so they have a chance for an offensive rebound.
Scoop shot can't go for Brown. Quickly back the other way. Here is Kamara as he kicks it out to Blakemore for 3, and Blakemore now has 5 of his team's 7. And Blakemore could do it all, but they really love his ability to put up the 3, and they want him to take about 12 to 13 shots per contest. As Fields has Kamara just draped around his back, so they're going to get him with his first and the team's second.
Fields' ability to handle the ball and his shiftiness puts a lot of pressure on defenses. And you know, we're only 4.5 minutes into the first quarter, and look for Nazareth to potentially get into some foul trouble because of that.
As they try to get it inside to Barry, and that is going to lead to another turnover, as he and Motivar haven't necessarily been on the same page in the early goings of this one. So we're seeing some full court press as everybody now drops back, and Troy Smith Jr. now running point here. Senior guard, who they'll have in with Moody at times this season, but he's the main backup. Kamara trying to create his own shot and kisses it off the glass for a deuce.
Coach Load spoke to us about the potential for wholesale changes, substitutions, and you look over to the bench and it's a 9-9 game and there's 5 guys ready to go in.
Subscribing to the hockey school of thought. And that's because also Loads is very confident in his depth chart, as Yancey can't connect. And Nazareth not wasting any time looking to get back the other way, as Kamara leaves it for Blakemore, and Fields is there for the rebound. And we're going to get another foul in the backcourt, and that's going to be the second against Kamara, and the team's third. As we take another look here, he was trying to tie up Fields and was a little too over-aggressive from behind.
It's another example of Fields' shiftiness, changing speeds. The tempo he plays with creates a lot of problems for defenses.
So here's the wholesale changes that Andrew was referring to, as Joe Loads has unloaded his bench. And a difficult shot somehow is put in by Naz Campbell right off the bench.
He didn't waste any time getting the shot off.
So somebody not named Fields has actually scored for Cardinal Hayes. As Moody back in, and swarmed by defenders is Kamari Hamilton.
Lance, this substitution by Coach Loads is not a punishment to the starters. It's a defensive tactic.
Well, because you got 5 fresh legs.
Who can, and you're not in foul trouble. You have 4 fouls to give right now.
Blakemore couldn't get the roll. So here comes Rodriguez. And charging towards the lane with authority is Saleh Atariwa, the tight end on the football team. Well, he can find alleys on the basketball court.
Certainly can. I mean, that was a football-like move right through the hole on that one.
And then Naz Campbell charged with the personal back on the other end, as that is going to be his first and the team's first.
One of the things that Coach Loads mentioned was that he feels completely confident in the substitutions coming in, like Atariwa replacing Moody, and there's no drop-off.
Well, Atariwa is a heck of a football player. He towers over everybody, 6'7", 248. He's getting offers from Syracuse, Temple, and UConn to play football. Who knows, they may want him to have some double duty on the basketball court as well. As we see this last play that led to the foul against Naz Campbell. So Delgado trying to cash in here with a pair of free throws, and he is able to capitalize. So it's a 2-point game as Cardinal Hayes trying to hold on to this advantage with a fresh 5 off the pump fake. Campbell skims the rim.
I like that move by Coach Irvin. I don't know if you noticed, but they snapped into a 1-2-2. Especially with Hayes' second line in, it makes them think a little bit, slows them down a little bit, and they took a quick shot, and it was a nice little defensive move by Coach.
And Campbell got away with a pump fake, so I don't know what Joe Loads thinks of that, but he'll apparently let it slide. He hasn't gone to the bench. As Moody now taking over here for the Kingsmen. And they have an opportunity to take the lead with this three. And the long rebound is going to lead to another Cardinal Hayes foul. Great job by Blakemore pursuing the loose ball.
Yeah, bullet point number 3 in the keys to the game was rebounding and taking charges. And you can see on that replay, that was a loose ball, and Nazareth just wanted that a little bit more.
As Rodriguez collided with him. So that's his first personal. And that is swatted away by Cone, but underneath in position is Delgado to lay it in. And with that, we are tied at 13 with under a minute to go.
And here's that 1-2-2 again. Hayes went to their 2-1-2 set to break it.
Quick release by Cone as Campbell hustles it down. And we'll have a fresh possession here for the Cardinals with 26 on the shot clock for them.
Good job by Rodriguez to organize the offense.
Here's Sam. Loose ball tapped around. And initially unable to clear it is Blakemore, but Delgado was there. So they can hold here with the shot clock off. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter as Nazareth looks to move in front for the first time. Four seconds to go. They're going to have to let it rip here from the corner. And the second attempt off the putback will not count, as it will be a 13-all tie here at the end of one, as we look at the red-hot shooting of Malik Fields in the break from the perimeter, you name it. With 9 of his team's 13, it's 13-all in the Bronx on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Cardinal Hayes saved my life. There's a school that gave me the second chance. I want all families to understand the investment that you're making in your life. This is a place in which you walk in as a little boy and come out as a man. One thing I can guarantee you is education. One thing I can guarantee you is that he will go to college, but one thing that I can guarantee you the most, that I'm most proud of, is of the man that he will become in the day of tomorrow. Up Hayes and all its loyal men.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx, 13-all as we get ready to start the second quarter. And Andrew, one of the things you noticed is the pace of play after the first 8 minutes.
Well, for Coach Irvin, he has to be pleased that his team took that initial blow that Hayes threw at them, and the score's 13-13. So if it stays on pace, it'll be in the 50s, which is not what Coach Loads wants. I think he'd be much happier if the game was flowing towards 70s and 80s. So some mini wins there for Nazareth as we head into the second quarter.
Yeah, Joe Loads said it's a NASCAR-style offense that they want to run, which means you put the key in the ignition and off to the races.
And for that to happen, you have to guard, create turnovers, rebound, and go.
Delgado, the leading scorer for Nazareth with 6, Blakemore with 5, and Fields with 9 of the 13 for Cardinal Hayes. As the second quarter underway, and that floater is up and in for A.J. Moody to give Nazareth its first lead of the game.
That was a nice little Euro step by Moody. And the floater in the lane.
Double-digit scorer last season, but they're going to lean on him to orchestrate traffic for his teammates this year. As Rodriguez can't connect, And there for the rebound is Romero. So a chance now for the Kingsmen to pad their lead as Moody maneuvering around the trap. Hamilton from way beyond the arc. And good defense there by Hamilton to slow down Cone.
And good hands by Atariwa on the rebound. That ball came off the backboard pretty hard, and you could tell he had those football hands to make the play. Great back screen by Atariwa.
And there to finish it is Rodriguez off the feed to tie this game up again.
It won't be in the stat sheet, but Atariwa set a mean back screen at the elbow for Rodriguez to get open.
It helps when you're 6'7". You love to use that frame. And quickly back the other way is Blakemore, and that speaks volumes about the pace of play that you were talking about.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Lodes takes a timeout. I don't think he's happy about the fact that Nazareth got through the teeth of the defense on the last 2 possessions.
Well, you can see a fresh 5 off screen or getting ready to check back in.
Well, he might do that and save a timeout. It accomplishes the same thing.
Rodriguez, the fadeaway, and he drops it through for back-to-back buckets.
Not an easy shot going to his right, stepping back.
Hamilton could not handle it, and it will head back to the Cardinals as we're going to have their starting 5 return to action with a quick stoppage of play.
You could tell Coach Irvin wasn't happy with that turnover. And sometimes when you're a former player and you see the game the way he did when he played, it can be frustrating when your high school players don't see it the same way you do.
He had quite the battles at Robeson with Lincoln in Brooklyn as Christian Brown misfires. Moody with the lob underneath to Delgado. And around a triple team, they're going to say he touched it last. So we'll go back to Cardinal Hayes, and that's really the one facet that disrupts the Nazareth offense, these turnovers.
Absolutely. If they can take care of the basketball, like we said earlier, and get a shot off on every possession, they'll be in good shape.
As you see, Cardinal Hayes working around the perimeter, everybody touching it on the court. They get it to Fields off the curl. Blakemore has been very active in this game as he's now going to take over. Off the dribble. Hamilton can't finish, but there is Delgado with the stuff.
You talk about athletic ability. That was not an easy play. He cuffed it with his right hand on an offensive rebound. Really impressive athletic play by Delgado.
Delgado has 8 of his team's 19. He's off to a ferocious start. Barry's been quiet with that 6'9" frame. He absorbs the contact, and Delgado wins the battle. So they're looking to push. Hamilton with a clear path with the right hand, and it's a 4-point advantage for the Kingsmen. So Cardinal Hayes wants to talk things over, and quite a last few possessions here for Nazareth as we see Hamilton at the rim.
One thing I'm noticing is I think Nazareth is getting to the basket very easily. Coach Lodes is probably discussing that in the timeout right now. They're going to have to make some adjustments, move their feet a little bit better, and get a little bit better help defense.
And if you want to book a Varsity Media Sportscast, you can hit up Ben at varsitymedia.net, 516-403-2050. You can keep fans, family, and alumni connected. Any team can order. As we are here in the Bronx, Cardinal Hayes, Nazareth in the early stages of this one. It's been a tight affair, but the Kingsmen in the last few possessions have been very effective in taking their defensive stops and equating that to offense on the other end.
Absolutely, and once that happens, you build confidence and you realize, hey, yes, we're on the road, but we can compete with this team and we can make things happen.
And maybe we're starting to see the difference in terms of Nazareth has had a few games under their belt, so they've been able to work through some of their issues. Cardinal Hayes, outside of practicing against one another, you can only simulate game action so much, Andrew. You know that as a coach. That is the challenge, at least in the opener of any season.
Absolutely, and the one benefit that Hayes has is they have 10 guys who can really play and contribute. So their practices are spirited, but to your point, there's nothing like game action.
Here's Brown. who will leave it to Fields. Fields scored all 9 of his points in that first quarter. And a trap here in the corner is going to lead to another turnover. And they're going to say, though, that Nazareth was out of play. A great hustle by Hamilton in the corner, but his backside was on the sideline.
And where the ball is being inbounded right now is very difficult offensively, especially on a court of this size. It can be difficult to get the ball inbounds.
Yancey is going to do the honors. Fields is going to leave it to Almodovar. Can they get Barry involved? He has yet to get on the board in this game. Fields, the pull-up jumper. Give it to him. 11 and counting for one of the lethal scorers in the New York Catholic League. And a near turnover by Nazareth as they were able to dodge a bullet with the backcourt pressure.
I'm so impressed with Fields' ability to hit the three. He's just showcased his mid-range game, and in the first quarter, he showed his ability to finish around the rim. Tom Bacor's got to be a very happy man.
Anxious to get him on campus at Quinnipiac. As Nazareth holding on to a 2-point lead here. Moody has a bucket in this game. So does Hamilton. There's 9 is on the shot clock here. Delgado leaves it for his teammate. And a difficult shot, unable to go there for Tyshawn Trammell. Senior guard in for the first time. Quickly back the other way is Yancey. And Delgado collects yet another rebound. Delgado they look at as the team enforcer and catalyst. And based on that one-handed slam we saw earlier in the game, he knows how to spark this offense. Moody from the corner. And how about this rebound by Christian Brown in traffic? Now Motivar to the rim. Fields there for the offensive board. And he throws it off of Delgado out of play to salvage the possession. And the Cardinal Hayes faithful underneath the bucket absolutely loves that effort. As we take another look here, you're going to see Fields tiptoeing, going out of play, as Barry just cannot find the rhythm. Now, Amadou Barry, who has so much potential, he's got double-double production written all over him. And there, he is able to box out and prevent Hamilton on the second chance.
I think for a guy like Barry, he just needs to see one of them go down, and maybe it would be good for him to get fouled and get to the free throw line and see a free throw go down, and then maybe get in rhythm that way.
That was a rare miss for Fields from the corner, as Gary Irvin wants to talk things over with his team, leading by 2 with just over 2 minutes to go in quarter number 2. We look at the recent history for the Kingsmen, what they've done in the last 3 seasons, runner-up in 23 and 24, and Gary Irvin has done a heck of a job, and you were alluding to this earlier, Andrew, as a former player and the standard he holds his players to, but he has really stabilized this program as of late.
Absolutely, and you know, you talk about it in season, but in order to do that, you have to do things in the off season. It's the weight training, it's the team camps, it's the off season leagues.
You talked about his pedigree, and what a luxury for these high school players to learn from somebody that turned a notable high school career into a successful collegiate career at Mississippi State and Arkansas before traveling the world. I mean, think about what basketball did for Gary Irvin. He went to Canada, Australia, Venezuela, Ukraine, France. Now, that's not Hobart, of course, as you can speak to, but still, it counts slightly.
No, we only went to Germany and Austria. I had to play against Boo Harvey in Austria.
All right, so there was some overlap then with Gary Irvin. That counts for those counting at home.
Ooh.
That one nearly goes through for Blakemore, who had the hot hand early.
Well, one of the benefits for a guy like Coach Irvin is if he can share those experiences with his players, it shows them what hard work can do for you, where it can take you. And then, that's what being a coach is all about. It's not just the X's and O's. It's sharing your world experiences.
And specifically his Brooklyn experience. I mean, that goes atop the list more so than anything, as Fields is going to be able to skim the rim there as he's missed his last 2 threes. And Moody has his pocket picked by Yancey. It's a foot race. And he put a little too much mustard on that one as that went up top into the rafters of this gymnasium. As we look at Yancey, just could not stuff it home. That may have been one of the best missed dunks we've seen in recent history.
From a coach's perspective, there's no such thing as a great missed dunk.
No silver lining.
Coach Loach watched those 2 points.
Moody kicks it out to Blakemore, and they are able to connect from downtown.
From a coach's perspective, there's your 5-point swing, right? So, later on in the game, that could be a play that they point back to. And there's so many plays that happen during the game, but that little 10-second swing there could be one that they point back to.
Blakemore's at double figures with 10. 15 on the shot clock for Cardinal Hayes. Brown the step back. And Fields hustles in. And they're going to say it was last touched by Nazareth as Hamilton is pleading his case. So with 27 seconds to go, Cardinal Hayes will still have possession here.
And that's another, Fields has done a nice job getting to the offensive rebounds. I mean, not only can he score, but he's kept 2 balls alive, 2 possessions alive for Hayes.
Brown thought about the 3. Instead, the extra pass to Yancey. Fields another offensive board. Can he get a second chance? And there will not be a third time as the box out by Blakemore with 14 seconds. He leaves it underneath for Delgado. And a takeaway by the Cardinals, who can have last licks here. 4 seconds to play. Yancey lets it fly. And that is going to do it for the first half of action, with Nazareth in front by 5, 24-19. Quite the turn of events in quarter number 2 for the Kingsmen, who are going to head back quickly to the locker room, up 24-19. And we will step aside as well, as Nazareth did not lead at all in quarter number 1, turn the tables, as we take a look at some of the highlights, including the sharpshooting from Jaden Blakemore in double figures with 10. It's a 5-point lead for the road team here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
We live in a community in which every other option is available except the right option. And this school became the right option for me. My mom said to me, all I want from you is to your graduate Patrick Castillo. Y gracias a Dios, en el clase de 2017, yo me caminé en el San Patricio y vi los ojos de mi madre. Yo llorando la abracé y le dije gracias por esta oportunidad.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another 3. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a SPORTSCAST with Varsity Media. What sets our SPORTSCAST apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media SPORTSCAST today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off X3 in a row now.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx with Nazareth leading Cardinal Hayes 24-19. Right before we start up the second half of action, joined by the head coach of the Kingsmen, Gary Irvin. And Gary, second quarter, things seem to change in favor of your team. What flipped the switch, and what do you attribute to why you were able to take a 5-point lead into the locker room?
I think it was our physicality, right? We was trying to match that. When they came out in the first quarter, they were really, really physical, and we had to match that. And in the second quarter, we started making a few shots, so it helped us out a lot.
Specifically, Blakemore and Delgado, how key have they been in helping orchestrate what you've accomplished on the offensive side?
I mean, the offensive side has been good to scoring, but I like that Jaden Blakemore has eight rebounds in the first half. I think that's how you win basketball games on the road. You got to be physical and rebound.
Gary, appreciate the time. We'll let you head back to the team for the second half.
All right, thank you.
You got it. Thank you so much. Gary Irvin with his thoughts on the first half of action here in the Bronx. See, Gary could do it all. He could coach a game, he could comment on a game, he could play in a game, as he certainly looks as if he's in good enough shape to maybe get a few buckets.
Yeah, I was impressed with his multitasking coming out of the hallway with a minute and a half left to go on the clock. He got his team ready, he got an interview in, and now we're ready to go for the third.
Absolutely, and one of the things that he mentioned that he was pleased about was not so much Blakemore scoring, but his ability to crash the glass. That was the one thing he commended about Jaden.
It's those little things that add up in a game like this.
Barry looking to get on the board for the first time, and right out of the gates of the third quarter, he does so.
That's a great job by Coach Lodes, setting up a design play. It was a little bit of a misdirection play to get Barry going. Let's see if that's the bucket he needed.
As Christian Brown able to draw the tie up, and that is going to lead to another Cardinals possession.
You could tell that play was drawn up at halftime on the board, and to Hayes' credit, they executed it to perfection.
And it was the second five that uplifted the defensive tenacity of Cardinal Hayes. So maybe the starters took a page from the playbook of their backups to change the approach here. As Yancey just toying with Romero, and the crowd loving it.
The crowd loves it, but he went from 19 feet 9 inches to 26 feet.
And Barry bulldozing his way inside. We're going to get a blocking foul down low in the paint, as that is quite the presence by Delgado. to take that hit.
Those calls are always tough calls for the officials to make. We have the benefit of instant replay. It looked like a shoulder to the middle of the chest.
And I'm sorry, that was Romero, not Delgado, who was defending on the play. So Romero now takes a seat after quite the collision. As Gary Irvin trying to orchestrate his defense down low underneath the basket. It was clearly a non-shooting foul. So that's why we're going to have Almodovar inbound.
I'm impressed with Coach Irvin's passion for the game. His enthusiasm rubs off on his players.
Well, we were talking with Joe Loads earlier in the week, and he said, when Gary Irvin and Nazareth enter the building, you prepare for mayhem because it's going to be a different feel as they get it inside to Fields, who knocks down the elbow jumper. He's up to 13.
That was a defensive miscommunication on Nazareth's part on that baseline out of bounds play, and Hayes took advantage of it, got it to their best player, their best scorer, and they converted.
So now it's up to the Kingsmen to break down this full court press by Cardinal Hayes.
One of the things they did in the first half, Lance, was they got the ball to 21, Delgado, and it relieved the pressure because at that stage of the game, Barry can't pick up at 90 feet.
Delgado had 8 points in the first half. He's looking to get into double digits. And off the offensive rebound, Hamilton denied, but the second time proves to be a charm. So that is his second bucket. And Nazareth doing a nice job maintaining this small cushion. Brown from the corner. And the long rebound goes to Blakemore, and great hands by Yancey to prevent a transition opportunity. And they're going to say it actually was last touched by Nazareth, and Gary Irvin is arguing, saying it clearly went off of Yancey. But it does not look like he's going to win this battle. Let's take another look, Andrew. Kick ball there.
Really tough to tell. It happened when it's going full speed. It's a tough call to make.
So here's one last glance. And you know what? It may have gone off of the leg of Hamilton.
When Coach Irvin looks at the film, he's going to realize the officials got that one right. Good job by the officials.
It was off a hand and then off a foot. Fields, he's been in motion with his hands and his feet. Brown gets it in the corner. Cannot dial it up long range. He's had good looks, just has not found the bottom of the net. Blakemore has done the opposite, and you can ring that up from beyond the arc as Blakemore is up to 13.
When he gets his feet set and has an open look at the bucket, he's dangerous.
And Joe Loads wants to talk things over, not pleased as he met Almodovar immediately on the bench in terms of their transition defense. And once again, Andrew, I'm going to go back to your point as we see what Cardinal Hayes did over the last 3 seasons. Knocked out in the quarterfinals, runner-up in 23, but you were emphasizing pace of play, and it just seems as if it's fitting the comfort and the style of the Kingsmen a lot more than the Cardinals right now.
Absolutely. If this game is in the 50s or 60s, I think it favors Nazareth. Game gets to the 70s, 80s, it favors Hayes. And one of the problems Hayes is having offensively is they're really only getting one good look at the basket. And the only person who really has been getting offensive rebounds has been Fields, which is surprising with the athletic lineup that they have. So I think Coach Loads will look at the film and he'll realize there's some offensive rebound opportunities to be had.
Especially with Barry at 6'9" in the middle. Once again, we can't emphasize his presence enough and how critical he's going to be in terms of the trajectory of Cardinal Hayes. And there he facilitates Fields underneath, who now has 15 points to lead the way.
It would be really interesting to see Barry and Atariwa on the floor at the same time. They would get every rebound in that situation. But then again, you're not able to play to that pace of play with 4 guards.
Because you're not going to be able to run and gun. It's going to be more of a half-court, slower pace. I thought you were going to say, what about 2 of them in the trenches for the football team as well?
Yeah, we'd like to see that.
As Barry working in the paint on Delgado, and he now has a pair of buckets.
the footwork on that play was so impressive. He was so patient and really, really looked under control.
And that's the Barry that Lodes wants to see more of, the one who could create his own shot. Almodovar around the rim and out. Can Barry put it through? And they're not going to get a fourth attempt as Delgado throws an elbow the way of Fields. And Fields is down, and we're going to get perhaps a technical foul here, depending on what the officials decide. As you see, he was trying to swing his arms to create space there, Andrew. Now, I did not see a technical foul being motioned for, at least live on the court, but it certainly raises the point based on the evidence there.
Well, with high school basketball, they don't have the benefit of the instant replay. You know, so that's one point. But the rule does state that when you swing your elbow in that way, it should be called a technical foul.
And Gary Irvin off screen is at the scorer's table making a case. So here's another look. You can see two swings, and the second one got a piece of Fields in the face. And Joe Lodes now, he is talking with members of the officiating crew, Craig Bell, Mike Lacasio, and Damian Shaw. And this has been a game with not a lot of personals, Andrew. They've let these guys play for the most part.
I think the officials have been fair both ways. I think they've done an excellent job. It's an experienced crew, and it's a tough game to officiate.
So there is not going to be a technical foul. As it stands right now, they're going to let play resume. They go inside to Fields, and off the double clutch, he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line this time.
Great job on this based on out-of-bounds play. And I think for their first game out, Lance Hayes has done a really nice job on their set pieces.
So Delgado was the one that had his hands straight up. As now Fields will go to the line for the first time tonight. We have only seen Delgado go to the free throw line in the first half, so this is now the first for Cardinal Hayes.
And you wonder if Fields hitting the ground on the last two possessions had an impact on that first free throw.
He has not missed many from the field over the course of this game. And he makes one of two. So Fields has 5 here in the second half, 11 in the first half. He has accounted for 16 of his team's 28. Delgado with a nifty maneuver, and they're going to get contact en route to the bucket. As Cardinal Hayes thought maybe he got away with a travel.
Not a lot of contact there. I don't know if it was a travel, but I also don't know if it was a foul.
As Delgado is trying to utilize that right leg to maneuver around Barry, who got a piece of him from behind. Delgado 2 for 2 from the line tonight. And there is no such thing as the broadcaster's jinx. We just report the facts, people, okay? It's as simple as that. We were not claiming that Delgado was 100% in his career or has never missed a free throw. He just happened to make his first 2, and we'll leave it at that.
This one's definitely going in now.
Oh, so now you want to get involved in the party, and apparently you should be the soothsayer as opposed to me. So he is now 3 of 4. So Cardinal Hayes breaks down the press effectively as they can tie or take the lead here. And Yancey is just trying to box out the defender because he lost control of the ball, and that's going to be a backcourt violation. It was a heads-up play by Yancey, Andrew, to prevent the transition bucket, but still, it was going to be a turnover no matter how you spin it.
Either way, the ball is going to Naz.
And Hamilton applied the pressure. 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And Moody trying to create. He spots up Hamilton. And Barry is there with Brown in transition, off balance. And he is going to head to the free throw line.
I think Barry getting 2 early buckets this half has gotten him going a little bit. That was a great defensive rebound and an outlet by him. So he's doing, other parts of his game, and it seems like he's building confidence by the second.
Foul went against Hamilton, his first, the team's third. As Brown gets his first point of the night. So a player that they were looking at as being somebody that was going to put up a lot of shots and extend the offense gets on the board with a pair of free throws.
Yeah, he's an excellent shooter. He's an excellent scorer. He can score in bunches, so it's going to be interesting to see if he gets hot heading into the fourth.
Yeah, he lived in the gym this summer, Joe Load said. It's now or never for Christian Brown. And Blakemore denied by Fields, and he's not going to get a second chance opportunity as he stepped out of play.
That was a good call by Mr. Locascio.
And we see these hockey line changes again for Cardinal Hayes. As Joe Loads is going to go with a fresh 5, but first a timeout by the Cardinals to talk things over with the game tied at 30 here in what has been a highly contested game. League opener between Nazareth and Cardinal Hayes, and Nazareth has just done a really good job dictating the pace of this game, but it's been some fouls that have maybe benefited Cardinal Hayes to slow the game down and chip away at the free throw line. As we take a look at our upcoming broadcast, that'll be coming up on Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off right here in the Bronx. Cardinal Hayes hosts Archbishop Stepanak, one of the most highly ranked teams, not just locally, but in the country. And you can check that out, youtube.com/varsitymedia. And we advise those of you watching from home to please like and subscribe the YouTube page for Varsity Media. See, it's that simple. The graphic can even do the heavy lifting for you. You click, and then you know you'll get all the alerts from Varsity Media moving forward. And you can also follow myself, Lance Meadow, here with Andrew Deloya, as we are courtside in the Bronx, New York, and this has been an entertaining affair.
A little bit of a chess match coming out of the timeout. Coach Irvin snapped into a 2-3 zone. It probably prevented Coach Loads from anything that he drew up in the huddle.
As they swarm upon Fields, check that. That was Rodriguez. With Fields now on the bench, is Cardinal Hayes going with its second 5. Moody slashing through the defense, and he gets the floater to go with a hard-earned bucket, his first of the second half. So every time Cardinal Hayes looks to seize momentum, Nazareth has responded.
And the other thing this 2-3 zone does is back to the pace of play. It kind of stands Hayes up a little bit, especially with this lineup in.
Campbell, and they're going to get a travel. There's too many steps taken by Atariwa, who comes in to spell Barry. So we got Campbell, Cone, Rodriguez, and rounding out the group is Sam. Delgado to the rim, and he is challenged by Atariwa. And that is going to be a foul on him. It'll be his first. As Delgado tried for the two-handed slam, and the 6'7" junior got a hand in the way, but there was also contact.
Just really impressed with Delgado's game today. I mean, he just reminds me of a guy you'd see playing for St. John's. He has got that same frame, that same sort of tenacity about him, attacking the rim, aggressive, under control.
3 for 4 from the charity stripe tonight.
You were trying to jinx him again, weren't you?
Well, 75%, that's not perfection anymore. I don't know if I would be effective. I mean, I'm influential, but I think you're giving me way too much power on that front, Andrew, in terms of my ability to get the ball to go into the hole or not. And here he goes 2 for 2, so I'm off the hook, as he has hit 3 of 4 here in the second half.
I'd like to see Hayes get the ball to the high post in this possession against the 2-3, maybe get a Tariwa flashing and then drive into the bucket.
Rodriguez leaving it for Cone. In the corner is Sam, who somehow puts it through with his momentum heading to the bench. And with that bucket, they have pulled within 1. Moody dumps it down low, and the floater is up and in for Kamara.
Impressive pass by Moody, great vision. Way to get into the teeth of the defense and deliver a great play.
Moody has been sensational creating for his teammates, and that's exactly what Gary Irvin was expecting out of his orchestrator. Campbell from the elbow. And a one-handed rebound attempt is unsuccessful by Romero. We're going to get a jump ball. And the possession arrow, as the officiating crew consults here, is going to send the ball the opposite way. So it is going to be Nazareth basketball. That was a heads-up play by Romero, who's now going to get a breather, and Hamilton is going to come in for him. Well, one of the things that Gary Irvin talked about coming into this game was winning the battle of the guard play. And Moody so far has been effective in helping them hold the edge in that department. As here he leaves it to Kamara, and it was last touch by him out of play. So we're going to see Romero come back in as they do an offensive-defensive switch here, and he'll give Hamilton an opportunity to get some rest. Cardinal Hayes, look at the jump start. It's offense. Here's a good look from Sam. He hit the last one from the right corner, and he's going to collect the loose ball and attack. And it's going to be an offensive foul. It's going to go the opposite way. That is going to be the first on check.
Now with 43 seconds left here in the half, Hayes has a chance to get the ball back and do something here. And these are the points in the game that are really, really important. The end of the quarter situation, which you don't see in college. You only see the half. But there can be a big swing here.
And how about Moody, who took the charge and sacrificed his body? So taking care of business on both ends. Kamara has 4 points in this game, and that bucket is going to be waved off. They're not going to give him continuation. Gary Irvin is pleading his case, as well as Moody, as we'll take another look here. Now, the foul happens right there, Andrew, before he was elevating for the shot. It's going to go against Rodriguez. That'll be his third. And you can see Nazareth is still trying to convince the officiating crew that they should give him a continuation. It was a valiant effort by Kamara, but he's going to get 2 free throw attempts here. Sophomore, who is right at home. He's a Bronx native. Went to James Monroe for his freshman year. And one of the things that Gary Irvin talked about is the PSAL, the Public School Athletic League, is a lot different than the Catholic League. So there's going to be a transitional phase, but he is such a versatile talent. He could get to the basket, shoot the three. He's got a mid-range game. He's very coachable. They are extremely excited to get him in the mix as he is able to capitalize on a pair of free throws. So 26 seconds to go, and here is what Andrew talked about with these last possessions of the quarter. With Cardinal Hayes trailing by 5, and they can hold for the final shot here. Yancey, he's going to leave it to Almodovar, who can't get the roll. So now Nazareth has a chance here with Delgado leading the pack. 2 seconds to go. Moody in the corner to Hamilton. And that is going to do it. 3 quarters of play, and it is going to be the Nazareth Kingsmen with a 5-point advantage thanks to that man, A.J. Moody, slicing up the Cardinal Hayes defense as the road team controls entering the 4th on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
the core of what we do is informed by our Catholic faith.
Faith is something that permeates the building.
I would say a majority of our students are not Catholic.
I myself am not a practicing Catholic.
Even though the kids may not be Catholic, they're being formed by those character building values that come from the Gospels, that come from what Jesus taught us.
We really leaned into our faith and our perseverance of Hayes and all its loyal men.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Nazareth had a 5-point lead at the half, 5-point lead after the third. Each team scored 14 points in that quarter. As we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter, and Andrew, what are you looking here from Cardinal Hayes as they try to ignite a rally here?
Well, their players have to make plays. They should be well rested. That's one advantage that Hayes has, is they've played a deeper bench heading into the fourth quarter. So we'll see if fatigue plays a role. We'll see if a little bit more energy in the legs plays a role, and if the players are going to make plays down the stretch.
And this was last touched by Nazareth as the perimeter pressure is getting the better of Cardinal Hayes' backcourt. And the one thing that we've seen Hayes struggle with is three-point shooting. They have not been able to hit it since Fields got red hot in that first half. And that has been a difference maker, especially since Nazareth doesn't have to match wits with them holding on to this 5-point lead. They could be much more in attack mode. Barry fakes the handoff, and with the right hand, he's going to bank it in, so we're starting to see him get a little bit more comfortable as he's up to 6.
Yeah, and the more Hayes attacks the basket at this stage in the game, the better off they'll be. And it could potentially free them up for some open, good three-point looks.
With Nazareth maybe trying to pack the paint as Delgado operating out on that perimeter. All of his points in the third came from the free throw line. Blakemore off the dribble, tries to sneak through the defense, and Barry another rebound. Can they get a look for Christian Brown? Instead, Barry's going to try to take over himself. And how about the tenacity of the defense by Nazareth? These guys are just relentless, specifically Moody and Hamilton.
And when you look at the replay, you can tell that was a shell defense Coach Irvin drill from this week's practice. Every guy was in the right position in the help. They were digging, and they were still in position to get back to the shooters. It was a perfect defensive possession.
Now Motivar leaves it for Fields, who has 16 in this game. 10 on the shot clock for the Cardinals. Here's Fields, the step back. He's cooled off here in the second half, and Delgado and Nazareth can now milk some clock here as they are in control, up by 3. The contested jumper dials it up for Justin Delgado with his first made field goal of the second half and his first triple. And that provides breathing room. Off the steal, they leave it for Hamilton, who stops, pops, can't lay it in, but Delgado there for an offensive board. And here comes another opportunity in the half court.
Not only is Delgado athletic, he plays with such a great basketball IQ. I mean, he got the offensive rebound, they kicked it out, he knew the time and score.
Moody, the pull-up, Delgado comes in, flying high, and is gonna draw the foul against Cardinal Hayes as he timed his leap to perfection. And he was undercut, Andrew, as we see on the replay. They're gonna get Fields with his first personal.
I thought that was a good call because Delgado was in the air before Fields got to him.
And there was really no clean box out as well. Delgado 3 for 4 from the line in the second half. As Andrew stares me down, we remind the audience, we just report the facts. Delgado looking to pad this lead and push it to 7, and he nearly grabbed his own miss. So 0 for 2, and it'll stay a 6-point affair. Yancey is going to get it to Fields, and we're going to get a bump here out on the perimeter as Kamara fouled Brown. So that is going to be the 3rd on Kamara. Cardinal Hayes trying to flip the script. The backdoor cut by Yancey. Here's Brown from mid-range. And the cleanup attempt by Campbell. And he will not get a second chance. As there to clean it up nearly is Delgado. Back the other way, helter-skelter play continues as Hamilton gets his hand in the passing lane. So missed opportunities galore for each team in transition. Moody right through the heart of the Cardinal Hayes defense and kisses it off the glass to force Cardinal Hayes into a timeout as Moody is up to 6, and this is textbook basketball.
He did such a nice job protecting the basketball on that drive and utilizing his 2 steps, and he's a really good finisher around the rim. He's proven that today.
He can create, and when he is able to get there, he is able to take advantage. We look at the upcoming schedule for Nazareth. So after they explored the continent in terms of going to Oklahoma City and then some, now it's all local with Holy Cross, Bishop Lachlan, and Malloy on the horizon. As we look at Gary Irvin and his team coming here on the road from Brooklyn and quieting the home crowd, their largest lead here, up by 8 after leading by 5 at the break and after 3. And it has been dribble penetration by A.J. Moody, and that has also freed up some of their perimeter shooting, specifically Delgado, who has really provided a nice 1-2 balance in terms of looking for his 3-point shot, but also crashing the glass.
Yeah, and I feel like Delgado has done such a good job controlling the game. He seems to me to be the glue for Nazareth.
Fields has a good look. Underneath there is Campbell, and we're going to get a jump ball as Campbell got locked up off the post. And the officials looking at the scorer's table for direction in terms of the possession arrow. And this is going to be another 1-1 by the Kingsmen. And these jump ball possession arrows, they add up, Andrew, because it's a lost possession for Cardinal Hayes down by 8.
Absolutely.
Moody finding the open man, Kamara, with the right hand, able to push it through. Malik going sky high to make it a 10-point advantage. The athleticism of Nazareth is on full display here in the second half. They are out-leaping Cardinal Hayes, both literally and figuratively speaking. Yancey off the dribble. And there is Cone, who leaves it to Almodovar. And this is last touched by the Cardinals, they're going to say, excuse me, check that, by Nazareth. So it'll stay with Cardinal Hayes, which is running out of time here, down by 10 with under 4 minutes to go. And Nazareth has done a really nice job quieting and containing Fields, who had 16 through 3 quarters, and he's going to stay that way. The unfriendly rims here in the Bronx. And we're going to get some contact underneath as they're going to get Campbell with his second.
This is also where the new foul rule comes into play. I mean, it's not new because it was last season as well, but no more 1-and-1. You know, and Hayes has got to start thinking about getting some fouls in so they can put them on the line. But when you do put them on the line, they're getting 2 shots.
As you saw Campbell on the replay, he reached in on Delgado. That's what led to the foul, as Moody surveying the court. Now Modovar getting a hand on the pass from Hamilton. So here is Blakemore on the inbounds. Nazareth is trying to milk some clock here. Hamilton to the rim. And a late whistle as it was Campbell and Cone trying to prevent the high percentage look. And they're going to get Campbell on the personal. Campbell was fronting on the play, and Cone from the backside. So that is going to give Hamilton his first trip to the free throw line, who actually played here at Cardinal Hayes last year, spent a few months, and then decided to transfer. He's an East Flatbush kid, so it's really a homecoming for him to head to Nazareth.
Yeah, that's a tough commute coming from Brooklyn, and sounds like he just wanted to be a little bit closer to home.
And the benefit of a player like Hamilton, swing man, he can play the forward position, he can play the guard. We've seen his ability to get into the paint. So just another player that adds depth to Gary Irvin's rotation as he makes one of two.
Scoreboard's not correct. Now it is. Now they just fixed it.
As Yancey cannot get it to bounce his way. This Cardinal Hayes team was trailing 38-33, Andrew, after three. They've been held to 2 points thus far in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Lance, if I would have told you that Hayes had 35 points with 2.5 minutes left to go in the game, I think you would have been surprised heading into tonight's contest.
Blakemore lets it fly. And off to the races is Yancey. As they feed it inside to Fields. Good defense there with Delgado keeping his hands straight up, but they're going to get a blocking foul underneath. I think it looked like Delgado actually got in position there, Andrew, after he was trailing initially on the play.
He did everything right there defensively. And once again, Fields is a crafty player, and crafty players tend to get those calls, especially late in the game, down 10.
So Fields is now 2 for 3 from the line. See what I did there? I waited for the attempt to happen. I'm learning. And this is his first point of the fourth quarter. And he'll go 2 for 2. So Fields is up to 18, leading the way for Cardinal Hayes, and then he gets a hand in the way, wanted a jump ball, and he's going to get that. Got right on the ball as Hamilton was at midcourt.
That's the defensive pressure I think Coach Lodes was looking for the entire game, and now they're bringing it when their back is up against the wall.
And the question is, can they solve the half-court defense? You talked about the zone. We've seen them go back and forth, and that is a heck of a floater there to cut the deficit to 7.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Irvin uses a timeout right here.
And a steal by Rodriguez brings him closer. So Avion off the bench. And now Nazareth has something to talk about with it being a 5-point game.
Just great pressure defense, active hands, and a great finish around the rim. But what I want to point out right now, Lance, is let's go back to earlier in the game. Hayes' missed dunk, Blakemore's 3 on the other end. What was it, a 5-point swing?
Yeah.
What's the score right now with 2 to go?
5-point game.
Yeah, so, I mean, now there's a million things that take place during the course of a game, but when your coaching staff is looking at the film the next day, those are the things that you gravitate to, and those are the things that keep you up at night.
It's the cumulative effect, as you had mentioned, as we look at Cardinal Hayes' upcoming schedule. Stepanak, you can see that game right here on Varsity Media. Then Eagle BK and St. Raymond as we enter the heart of December.
You know, I was talking to Coach Lodes before the game, and there's a banner up behind the basket of their 1,000-point club. And they just put that banner up today. And it's got, you know, some great players there. You got Tucson, Awaka, Jackson, Newkirk, Jenkins, Sidibe, and Williams. You know, all these guys. Williams played at Quinnipiac, Jenkins at George Mason, Newkirk, St. Joe's. Owaka's at Arizona right now. Fairfield. This is just a classic, successful basketball program and gymnasium.
The current players looking to maybe add another to that list as Rodriguez forces a steal. And back the other way is Sam, and he scoops it in, plus the foul. And this is a completely different ball game with under 2 minutes to go.
And maybe mentioning some of those names brought some of that Hayes magic. I mean, a minute ago they were down 10. It could be a 2-point game if this is a made free throw coming up. And it all started with Hayes picking up the pressure.
As Rodriguez pressured Moody, and that's the second steal that we've seen in the last 20 seconds by Rodriguez to create offense. So Sam now will head to the line to try to complete the three-point play. This is his first year on varsity.
And if you look at Hayes' lineup, it's more of a 5-guard look without Barry or Tariwa on the floor. Unfortunately, they didn't get back here.
And Delgado makes him pay. In transition, he catches Cardinal Hayes sleeping, and it's back to 5.
And that was a great look by Hamilton.
Here's Fields trying to lean in, and great hands by Camara and Delgado. And Moody is going to lead the attack the opposite way, coast to coast, and he flips it through. And Cardinal Hayes is going to take a timeout as the tables have been turned on the Cardinals yet again. A.J. Moody is not going to wait for their defense to get set. He has a pathway, and he is able to take full advantage. And with that, we'll take a breather. Back here in the Bronx with Nazareth leading Cardinal Hayes by 7. And Andrew, earlier in the game you talked about a missed dunk leading to a 3, and then we see a defensive stop moments ago underneath the bucket, and Moody gets out in transition.
Yeah, it's the second time in the game where Nazareth answered a punch early on in the first quarter, and they just answered a punch right there. Hayes had all the momentum in the world when they had the opportunity to cut the game to 2. And to Nazareth's credit, they bounced back and they didn't fold.
As Campbell and Delgado got tied up. Delgado has been all over the place using that 6'5" frame to just wreak havoc against the Cardinals. Here's Moody again at the bucket. He cannot finish this time, though. And then a rebound by Fields. And then there was contact from behind. It is going to be Cardinals basketball. It's going to go against Camara. Can Fields get the hot hand here with under a minute to go?
Now he goes to the line.
As Fields was trying to work the baseline. We're going to get Moody on the personal. So Fields is 3 for 4 today. It's been a quiet second half for him after he had 11 in the first 2 quarters. So that'll make it a 6-point game with under a minute to go, and then Cardinal Hayes is going to have to rely on their pressure defense to try to create a takeaway.
And they still have 1 foul to give.
Because they are at 3 team fouls right now. He makes 1 of 2. Campbell gets his hand on it. And we're going to get another jump ball, and the possession arrow is in favor of Cardinal Hayes. So that was a heads-up play.
Look for them to run Fields off a double screen here, try to get him an open look.
Well, Fields right now is going to inbound the ball as they switched up the positioning. As the officials are still conferring here. The ruling on the court was a jump ball and the arrow in favor of Cardinal Hayes.
I think the discussion is if the arrow wasn't changed on the last jump ball possession.
Well, the last one, if memory serves me correct, Andrew, went in favor of Nazareth. So from that standpoint, that's another reason why I didn't question it. And they now just checked in at the scorer's table, and it does not look like they're going to reverse it. It looks like it's going to be as is. As Fields is going to inbound. Now they can still run him off a screen once he inbounds the basketball, but right now he's going to have to create for a teammate. And Rodriguez can't handle it. And they dodged the bullet there as that had turnover written all over it. He lost his balance, and fortunately, he was able to get the ball deflected off a Nazareth player.
You got to reset the clock.
Right now, there's 47 seconds on the game clock and 35 on the shot clock. So we're having a meeting of the minds again here. They went to Rodriguez in the corner. Now Fields is down low on the post on the right side, and you've got Almodovar as the inbounder. So they've switched things up.
I'd like to see a misdirection, maybe Fields running to the opposite corner off of a screen from Campbell. Maybe get him an open look that way.
Instead, they're going to send him up towards the post and free up Rodriguez here. They're trying to get the ball to Fields. Fields at the rim. He cannot get it to bounce his way.
Good
and the
hustle
loose
both ways.
ball, and Nazareth forces another jump ball, and this time the possession arrow clearly will be in favor of them, as we still have both players down in the corner after Fields could not finish on the floater. It's a wet spot that they're going to have to take care of, but see them just flying towards the basketball every time it is bounced towards the corners of this court. And as you mentioned, Cardinal Hayes still has a foul to give since they're only at 3, so 36 seconds left. They go for the steal, and if you don't get it, you're going to have to try for something, and they can't intercept it. But they're going to say that he stepped out of play, Hamilton, so they actually wind up getting the turnover.
One of the advantages Nazareth has when they're breaking pressure is Delgado, who really plays the 4-5 for Nazareth, can come back and flash and handle the ball. So that's advantageous. Now, to reset here, Hayes has got to go really quick now.
They get the ball in the hands of their best player. Fields off the spin. And Delgado, another rebound, which leads to a foul for Cardinal Hayes against Fields, so that is going to be their 4th. So there's still one that they have to give. Full court pressure being shown there by Cone. And once Moody gets the ball, Cone has no choice but to foul him. So we're going to have free throws coming down here on the other end. As Nazareth is looking to pad the lead and walk away with a W on the road here in the Bronx after playing 3 games out of state. Moody with his first free throw attempt. Did an excellent job facilitating, but also finding a balance in terms of attacking the rim, as he makes 1 of 2. Fields is going to lay it in here, and then a quick timeout taken by Joe Lodes as they get the lead for Nazareth down to 5. So a reminder that coming up this Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Cardinal Hayes is back here at home hosting Archbishop Stepanak. You can watch the game right here on youtube.com/Varsity Media. As Varsity Media will be the home for Cardinal Hayes throughout the season moving forward, so you can stay locked to this outlet to check out the play of the Cardinals. Nazareth out of Brooklyn, 8 seconds away from adding an exclamation point to a huge victory for them early in the season on the road. They trailed early in the first quarter in what really was a track meet plagued by turnovers, but Andrew, they did just a fantastic job settling down really from the second quarter on in this game.
Yeah, and like I said, I think they answered a punch early. They answered a punch in the fourth quarter. I think they got the pace of play where they wanted it. I do think this was a great schedule by Hayes. I think this game is going to pay dividends for them later on. Nazareth is a tough team to play against, and I think this is only going to make Hayes better. Hayes has a deep roster, and this was their first game. This is their first outing against a team in a different uniform. And Coach Lowe's does an excellent job, and, it's where you are in February, March, not where you are in early December. So I think Hayes is going to be a team to contend with later in the season.
And Joe Lodes even emphasized that, Andrew. It's interesting you brought up about later in the calendar, because he said what they've learned over the years from league play, not to say that games in November and December don't count, but you're so different by the time you get 2 to 3 months removed that carries a little bit more weight just based on default.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, and then you have to manage everything that happens in between: injuries, sickness, illness, what's going on with other teams. So you really have to power through, and it's a long winter.
As the ball went over the backboard, so all Nazareth needs to do is inbound to Moody, and that is going to do it here on the road. A heck of a victory for the Kingsmen, who knock off Cardinal Hayes 51-46 and improve to 2-2 on the season. But keep in mind, they did play 3 games out of state, so this is their first win in the Catholic League, and really impressive performances all around from Jaden Blakemore, A.J. Moody, and Justin Delgado, who was a menace on the glass and was able to clean up specifically on the offensive end for some second chance opportunities, and they were able to neutralize the big guys for Cardinal Hayes, specifically Amadou Barry and Saleh Atariwa. We'll step aside. Post-game reaction coming up here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again, off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another 3. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Back here at Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx as Nazareth victorious 51-46 over the Cardinals. We are now joined by the player of the game, Justin Delgado, who did a heck of a job filling up the stat sheet on many different fronts. Justin, it seemed as if the play in the paint was a huge difference maker, especially your ability to clean up on the offensive glass. Why were you so successful in establishing your presence with that facet?
My coach told me coming into the game to be dominant, be aggressive, be the most dominant player on the floor. So I took that personal, and we lost to even though it was preseason, we lost to the team before. So every time you lose to a team coming in, it's more you got more grit. You want to win more.
Speaking of grit, Justin, can you talk to us about how that trip to Oklahoma solidified your team or helped you guys grow and be ready for a game like tonight?
It helped us grow because the atmosphere out there was crazy. So the atmosphere in here was crazy as well. So we was used to it, and those losses that we got in Oklahoma brought us together as a team because obviously nobody wants to lose. So it definitely brought us together and made us want to win more.
Well, speaking of bringing you together, A.J. Moody had so many standout plays as you shake your head in terms of creating and knowing when to attack.
Yeah.
Talk about how impressed you've been in terms of his ability to take on the point guard role and provide balance for your offense.
Sure, AJ, man, that's my dog. Man. Like, he takes so much pressure off the defense for me because when he's aggressive and he's scoring, then they can't worry about everybody at once. So AJ's definitely big ups to AJ for sure.
What's next for you guys?
Taking it a game at a time. Taking it a game at a time.
Coach has really done a good job with you guys, if that's your answer.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, listen, Justin, congratulations on the victory and a heck of a performance by you tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely, our pleasure. Justin Delgado filling up the stat sheet, the 6'5" senior for Nazareth, and helping his team knock off Cardinal Hayes 51-46 on the road. And you can see he's getting greeted by Kamari Hamilton as both of those players were so effective in terms of just keeping their foot on the pedal and getting to the rim. As we see Gary Irvin all smiles. He was even taking photos of Justin Delgado while we were interviewing him. You could tell they truly feed off of their head coach. But one of the things that he brought up, as you asked him about the Oklahoma City games and so forth, he brought up a preseason loss and how, even something like that can stay on their minds and motivate them as to why they wanted to come out here and make quite the statement.
It's amazing what motivates high school student athletes, and coaches have a different perspective, and when you combine it with what the coach wants and what the players want, and I was looking at Coach Irvin taking those pictures, and that truly is a classic Catholic school situation. They drive the bus, they take pictures, they coach, they're mopping the floor, they're cleaning the backboards, and kudos to those guys because I know how much time and effort it puts in, and I know this, they don't do it for the pay.
You got to do it for the passion. You got to do it for the love of the game. And that certainly was displayed over the course of this contest. It added up to a balanced attack as we look at some of the highlights from this game. It started off with Malik Fields. He set the tempo for Cardinal Hayes. And how about Jaden Blakemore was able to match Fields. And A.J. Moody, who we talked about with Delgado. A crafty maneuver at the bucket. Delgado beating up the rims in transition as that was too much for them to handle. And Gary Irvin able to capture all of the perfect angles here in the Bronx. This man's not just a player. He's not just a coach. He's a photog as well. He's a renaissance man as his team victorious 51-46. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Chris Sweeney. For Andrew Deloya, I'm Lance Meadows, signing off here from the Bronx on the Varsity Media Sports Network.